by the main of Celestia. What a premiere! Roll that beautiful new intro.
My little pony, what is friendship all about? My little pony, friendship is magic.
Greetings, my Brony and Pegasus friends. Welcome to Crimson Analysis. In this episode, I will be analyzing Season 9, Episode 1 and 2, The Beginning of the End. And what an amazing premiere! This was incredible! This is a prime example of what happens when the company steps back and says you can do whatever you want. This episode opens with an urgent message from the princesses. Twilight, you can fly while you're running.
Because of your efforts, there's been less and less for us to do.
So, after much consideration, my sister and I have decided it is time for us to retire.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. I love both Celestia and Luna. I think we all knew this would happen at some point, but I was thinking far, far in the future. A future that we probably won't see, as this is the last season. I always assumed that Celestia and Luna would rule alongside Twilight, as Twilight takes on more and more duties related to the country. Plus, you two raise and lower the sun and moon respectively. Are you going to continue to do that, or will you transfer that power to Twilight? That didn't work out too well last time. I guess this time Twilight's friends could help to shoulder some of that power. While talking this over with my friends, they mentioned that Starlight could take some of that power as well. But let's face it, Starlight does not need any more power. She's OP as it is. I've always liked these two characters, especially as princesses. I don't know how to feel about this.
We have the utmost confidence in you, and we hope you'll have the same in yourself.
Celestia, you know Twilight. You know saying that is not going to help.
What do we do if something big happens and the princesses aren't there to help? If you think about it, they literally almost never help.
I cannot believe the show is calling that out. There she is, Chrysalis. It's actually happening. They're actually doing this. Back in my analysis of School Raise, I mentioned I wanted a Suicide Squad-like villain team-up. I have a theory that at the very end, we'll have a Suicide Squad-like team-up. Chrysalis will somehow break Tyrek and Kozigo out of Tartarus and resurrect Sombra. Because if they're actually doing it. Nailed it!
Why did you summon me? What do you want?
Wait, Chrysalis, that wasn't you? Who else is powerful enough to break people out of Tartarus and resurrect Sombra? By the way this show introduced this guy, and in the shots they're showing, and the way he says his name,
You may call me Grogar.
he's obviously from one of the older shows. I didn't know who this guy was, as I haven't watched any of the previous generations. But after doing some research, this guy was a big deal in G1. Hey, we get a voice for you.
I have also heard of the first Emperor of Equestria, the father of monsters.
Not what I expected.
I gave life to the foulest of creatures and allowed them to run wild.
Whoa, what? Hang on, pause. So I was right. So when the magic leaves these creatures, they revert back to what they were before. But when we see this, they're not creatures anymore, they're just normal animals. So does that mean they weren't always that way? Does that mean these creatures were fused by magic somehow? Was there some sorcerer somewhere in history that decided to fuse these creatures together? This is the guy that did it.
I don't do ours, I only do mine. I will take back the Crystal Empire on my own, and I will destroy any pony who gets in my way.
Based on the little we saw of him, I thought he'd be a lot more menacing.
Help! She's spiraling! We're at the my plan needs a plan stage of a total Twilight meltdown!
Oh, got it.
Every pony knows Twilight so well.
I can't. I'm not ready. Remember what happened the last time you left me in charge? And now you want me to do it permanently? What if I don't do the right things? What if...
Starlight, get a hold of yourself. You've risen to every challenge you've ever faced. You can do anything you put your mind to. You've got this.
And so do you. See what I did there? You just said everything you need to hear.
And that's why Starlight Glimmer is the guidance counselor. This part really annoyed me. The combined power of Cadance and Shining Armor could have at least given Sombra a challenge.
With the elements of harmony. With those, we can defeat any pony.
Oh really? We're doing this again? It's been a while since we've seen these.
We didn't need to defeat them. We just needed to face them long enough to distract you.
Oh, that was clever. That was very clever. I'm really glad they used a different defeat than just the rainbow lasers. This makes it a lot more interesting.
That was fun!
And easy.
Yeah, almost a little too easy. Wait, what?
You thought you defeated me, but you led me right to the source of your power. Now that it's destroyed, nothing can stop me.
Sombra's not just egotistical, he is smart too, making them think they had won just so he could follow them back and destroy what their main source of power is. That's incredibly clever. I like having clever villains. It makes them interesting, and the main characters have to try and outthink the bad guy. I prefer intelligence battles to physical battles any day.
With the Tree of Harmony gone, the Everfree Forest could grow out of control and threaten the town!
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah! The princesses are actually doing something!
No pony is meant to handle this on their own.
Whoa! I didn't expect to see you.
I've more than enough magic in me to keep the Everfree Forest under control.
You can do that?
The pillars and I planted the Tree of Harmony. Who do you think kept the forest under control before it did?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Does that mean he and the princesses will have to continuously fight against the forest from time to time? You know, it's kind of nice to see female guards. I love this scene so much. Discord is just whipping away the power as if they are little wisps of cloud.
Well, I guess it's on me to be the MVP today. I was betting on you, and I do hate being wrong. Although, if you think about it, I am your friend, so maybe you win because friendship wins? It would appear that you're on your own.
You may knock us down, but we're gonna get back up again. And again. And again. As long as we're together, we will never stop trying to defeat you. For our friends. For our families. For our home. For Equestria.
No, this can't be possible. Your magic can't defeat mine. I destroyed the source of your power.
You can't destroy our friendship, Sombra. And we keep telling bad guys.
But y'all just don't seem to remember.
Friendship is magic.
Not ready? So Twilight's not taking over? This was all for nothing? I pretended to be very hurt and gave one of the most convincing speeches of my...
Pretended?
Of course, you don't think some would-be king could actually hurt the Lord of Chaos, do you?
Yeah, I knew it. He was faking. I assumed he was faking. I'm pretty sure all of us knew he was faking. I wonder if when the princesses do retire, if their job will consist only of taming the Everfree Forest.
Celestia and I had fun today, fighting side by side with Star Swirl for our home. It's been years since we've gotten to do what you girls do.
As I stated earlier, I don't know if they'll give up the job of raising the sun and the moon. So is Sombra officially gone now, or is Grogar gonna bring him back like he did last time?
I'd say he gambled and lost.
It's really weird for me to see and hear fear in Chrysalis.
Not I.
I'm good.
Final thoughts, I really enjoyed this episode. See, this is what the writers can accomplish when Hasbro says you can do whatever you want. If this is what the rest of the season is going to be like, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so glad all the bad guys in this show are so different from each other. Tierik had amazing levels of magic, Cozy Glow is manipulative, Chrysis is very tactically aware, and Sombra is clever. You may think Sombra played himself, but it worked. His plan worked. He had the Crystal Empire, and he had Canterlot. It worked. And he also destroyed Harmony, the main protector of Equestria. He planned this out, and it worked. He had control. He just didn't take into account the magic of friendship. You know, we saw Harmony get destroyed, but I kinda think she is gonna come back somehow. I think she still has some parts to play. And now my favorite scenes.
Okay, I'll feel much better.
Once you make a plan.
Oh, wow. It's like you
Knew you were going to react this way? We did.
classic twilighting. Twilighting? You made me a verb?
It's not a bad thing. We just know you have a process.
Stage 1. You get big news and you're like, no! But then you pace and you chart, you worry. It's okay. You go ahead and twilight and we'll be here for you.
Wow, you are twilighting hard.
You say twilighting too?
Do Flim and Flam count? He sure has a weird way of being supportive.
Super odd dude.
I heard that.
This episode gets an easy 10 out of 10 from me. It was so good. The show was building this up. In the main 6, they reminded us that Chrysalis was still out there. And in School Raise, they gave us this look from Cozy Glow. Because of that, I assumed we would have some sort of villain team-up. But in the first episode, I did not expect to see this in the first episode. I really want to see where the writers are going to take this. To introduce the villain team-up this early, they've got to have something planned. Well, that's all for this episode of Crimson Analysis. I'm Crimson Shield. Thanks for watching.
A new adventure waits for